Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Abhyss and welcome to my Abhyss testing video. So again, before we start, friendly reminder to like and subscribe, because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these, and sometimes I really do need the motivation because some decks can either be really fun to play with or really not fun. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point of testing videos, is to kind of give you my insight and my personal experience so you can either avoid doing the same mistakes or just, I don't know, yeah, just learn from everything. And yeah, hopefully we can actually figure out the best way to play every single deck. But yeah, so I'm going second against this Dark Lord deck. Kind of unfortunate that the Dark World deck is not really good through Ash, Drool, and all of that. Well, I mean, in this situation, Drool wouldn't have done... Oh, actually, yeah, it would have been game. But yeah, I mean, Ash is even worse. I don't know why he summoned Nastin here. Literally just no reason to do that. And yeah, he's just passing. I mean, if I were him, I would have sent the Sanctified Dark Lord and I would have passed. So that was just a neg for no reason. Okay, this was mistake number 1, so actually Prosperity for 3. And I actually should have Prosperity for 6, even though in hindsight it wouldn't have changed anything. One thing that I learned about this deck is that when you don't have Snake Rain, you are so incredibly late behind that you really seriously should Disparity for 6 like at all time, just so you have a higher chance of getting it. Because think of it this way, if you have 12 cards in your hand, trying to dig for a 3 of is significantly easier. So yeah, unfortunately no Snake Rain there, so all I can do is just, I mean, pitch a Munisia, so if I have back to the front access I can revive her back, and I do have Trap Trick, so that's that. On standby, just to play around, you know, banishment of the Dark Lords and stuff, I just pop both, so regardless of what this card is, he won't be able to double banishment on me. And of course, I don't know why he's using the effect of Sanctified Dark Lord. He top deck a Lost Wind, which doesn't help him here, but it hinders me technically, because I kind of have like less plays now. And yeah, at this point I trap check into back to the front. You can kind of notice how really slow-paced this deck is. I mean, it really takes like a long time to actually be able to, I don't know, stabilize. So yeah, I mean, what am I even doing? Just revive back a monster and do nothing? My opponent top decks Yuko back, which is not a play starter in Dark Lords. Foolish is for a card that doesn't really do much. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, okay, sure, I shouldn't have summoned the monster from the extra deck, so that was definitely my bad. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he can't really do too much either. This is a really good top deck, but the contact can just get Ghost Belt, so at least there's that for me. And yeah, no M-Frame, double offerings to the Snake Deity. And by the way, offerings actually says 2 cards your opponent controls, not up to 2 cards. So that actually kind of sucks in a way, because if your opponent only has 1 card and you're trying to interrupt him on that 1 card, well, you can't do it, so you gotta wait. And oh my god, Harpy's Feather Duster top deck. That's pretty good. But it doesn't really matter because I have Snake Rain, but at the same time it kind of does matter, because even if I have 20 billion cards in my graveyard and my opponent has absolutely nothing, every single time I summon a monster from my graveyard, literally, like the level 8 attribute 1 monster, my opponent goes +1. Konami, why? Why did the monsters actually had to have this kind of effect? The fact that they're already once per turn makes them not broken anyways, so I really don't see why that was necessary. So yeah, Draglubion, but it doesn't matter. I really can't do much. Like, I mean, I can prepare myself for like a banishment or contact top deck. I mean, that's not... yeah, that doesn't do anything, but whatever. Regardless of what spell it would have been, I just would have been able to negate it. This Emptiness doesn't do anything. So every single Abhyss spell or trap that you can search is literally a vanilla almost. Like, Emptiness is the least crappiest one, so it really... I know I shouldn't be doing this because I'm actually supposed to be making a video promoting this deck, but it's hard to, I don't know, stay sane when... yeah. Anyways, let's get into the next one, okay? Yeah, I'm going first. Disparity for 3 again, but this time I actually have Snake Rain, so I care a bit less. I don't have to dig for something specifically. And yeah, Foolish for 4. This time it's actually good. My opponent doesn't have any hand shops, so even if I was able to play through a hand shop, the thing is, again, since when you summon this, they special summon the monster, and they actually choose, but when you summon that one, they actually get to recycle it back. So they might just say, okay, no, I'm not gonna special summon back my Ash, but as soon as you summon their Aleph, the other one, they're actually going to recycle it back. So even though not much happened here, because my opponent was just, I don't know, AFK or something, This probably wouldn't have been a game that I would have lost, because his only play really was Blue Sky. I could have ashed this, and then he really doesn't do anything after that. I mean, he Kaijus into pass, so that's just not the best play for him. 3 Kaijus, 2 blue. That's not a good hand at all. But, I mean, he could have made Anaconda, actually. Yes, special Kaiju, summon Kaiju, make Anaconda, summon another Kaiju. Yeah, actually, it's not that bad. Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for my Trap Trick being able to go Punishment, I actually would have lost this game. That's actually funny. Yeah, Dragoon, pop 2, burn for like 6k damage, and then attack directly for like, I don't know how much would that be, like 8,000? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, sure, a hand of no normal summons and no spells or traps actually wins in 2021. Go figure. Anyways, let's get into the third one. Okay, by the way, my opponent actually made me go first, so yeah. And again, I have Snake Rain, so I just disparity for 3. I get another one, even though it doesn't matter, because again, if I get ashed, my opponent gets back his ash. Konami! And yeah, whatever, I mean, I search. This is like the only combo that they wanted to do that actually made sense inherently. And realistically, it's a 2-card combo every single time regardless. It's either a Snake Rain and a discard, or both level 4 light and dark monsters from your hand, so you can actually pitch double like monsters from your deck to the graveyard. But still, the thing that I hate the most about this deck really is the fact that your opponent actually pluses and actually benefits off of you just trying to play the game in the first place. So yeah, whatever, at least right now I actually have some kind of nice interruptions, and I actually play without Draglubion and stuff because Amnesia is honestly a pretty good card. Again, they really do remind me of the generators in a way, and this would actually allow me to disrupt my opponent's graveyard, so even though I don't keep the monster permanently, which by the way, it should have been a permanent steal, by tributing an Abhyss monster instead of a Reptile, just to make it less generic. But yeah, I mean, again, I can't really do too much. Draglubion into Numeron Dragon, yeah, so now I have game. But yeah, if I feel like if I didn't open Snake Rain and all of that, I probably just wouldn't have been able to play, so yeah. Anyways, when you can actually play the game, this deck is honestly quite good, at least. Let's get into replay number 4. But when you don't actually get to play the game and when you draw garbage like this, it's a little harder. And by the way, one thing that I didn't know, Stardust Illuminate is actually unashable. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I don't know if I actually don't know how to read, or if EDO Pro is glitched, but Stardust Illuminate right now on EDO Pro is unashable. Send 1 Stardust monster from your deck to the graveyard, or if you control Stardust Dragon or a Synchro monster that specifically lists that card in its text, you can special summon that monster from your deck instead. There is absolutely nothing that specifies this card cannot get ashed or negated, so I have no idea why I am not allowed to ash Stardust Illuminate. If someone actually knows the answer, please let me know, because you can actually test it for yourself and you cannot ash it. It's not like I would have ashed it anyways. I probably would have held it for Junk Speeder, which it doesn't really look like he's playing it. And again, another really stupid thing is, why are you setting 2? That makes 0 sense. You could just set 0, keep Imperm in hand, and that's like even safer, because at least you don't lose to Harpy's Feather Duster now. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Again, I can't ash this, so alright, just do your thing. Search for a garbage spell or trap that doesn't actually start your engine, so I don't really care too much. Made no sense to banish this from the graveyard, but again, it's not like I could actually play the game, so what am I even doing? Just setting bluffs. As soon as he summons a monster, I'm gonna punishment for the full value, because I know his spells and traps are irrelevant. I'm not gonna go Entis, go after the spells and traps, so I just want him to actually waste a monster, because right now, I just feel like it'll take at least 4 to 5 turns, like 15 cards total, before I can actually finally draw a monster that does something. And you know, just not anytime soon. Monster Reborn top deck, I don't know why he surrenders. My top deck would have been Ogdo Abhyss. So, I mean, yeah. The thing is, I feel like when you're desperate at this point, what you have to do is wait until you have 7 cards in your hand, discard 1 for cost. I mean, no, one not for cost. For size limit, when you have more than 6 during the end phase, or during the end of the turn, not during the end phase, and then you back to the front. That's literally just super pathetic, but it's sometimes the only move you can do. Danger Thunder Dragon. if you were against Vanity's Fiend, that was one of the weird ways to actually out the Vanity's Fiend. Either reveal Bigfoot like an idiot until they actually snipe the Bigfoot, but every time they don't snipe the Bigfoot, you lose a card from the hand, and you don't draw, and you keep Bigfoot in your hand. So, you know, at this point, you might as well just go like Thunder Dragon, search 2, now you have 7 cards in hand going second, and then end phase, discard Nessie, then search Bigfoot, discard Bigfoot, pop Vanity's Fiend, you have 6 cards in hand, so if they don't summon Vanity's Fiend next turn, you actually win the game, but whatever. Anyways, let's get into the next one. Okay, I actually learned something extremely important here, and I feel like it's honestly my fault, a bit, just a tiny little bit if I lost, but it's honestly still not my fault to like a huge extent, so look carefully at what's gonna happen. So my thought process for this game was horrible, okay? So I was like, you know what, ashing a Mech Knight Orcust Girsu is never a good move because they can still make Din Girsu or Galatea or whatever, but the thing about this is that they make a garbage Din Girsu that has 1 material and they don't actually plus off of it, but if I don't ash this, I kind of lose to everything they do after that. So the correct strategy, I want to say, is just, once again, relying on luck, relying on getting lucky, and just hoping that ashing the Girsu would be enough to just make them pass turn, and them having absolutely 0 follow-up. Because if they can use the effect of Galatea, I feel like you lose the game. Same thing with Din Girsu. And if I actually ashed it and then despaired it for 6, I would have had nothing, because I'm just not lucky at the game. But you get the point, you know? I really seriously should have just, again, just relied on luck, because you had a bunch of Orcust in the hand, and I was like, oh no, yeah, whatever, now I have useless hand traps, I can't use any of them. I can't really ash an Orcust Nightmare, it's dumb, it's just, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really do anything. And, I mean, I can't really play the game too much. I mean, he has 1, so he can get back everything, and then more 1s, and then Din Girsu, and then, of course, I don't actually excavate Snake Rain, even with 6 cards, so 12 total, no Snake Rain, of course. And yeah, I pitched this, he rivalries me here, which is really sad, but I crash, and then I can set a Ghost Bell, and then Tribute 2, so that's actually a really neat move, by the way, if you want to play around Rivalry when you have a non-archetype related card monster on your field. And yeah, I mean, I still lose the game. Ash on Orcust Nightmare, again, it does nothing. They have World 1 in the graveyard, so next turn, I'll just revive back, and those are some nice wasted efforts. And it doesn't matter if I can destroy everything, so my goal right here is just to pray that he doesn't have a machine in the hand, but of course he does, because he's better than me at Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, no, there's just simply no way I can win this game, so yeah, Din Girsu Send Lair is the correct move to do here, otherwise I would have been able to maybe draw the nuts, but probably not, because I would have eaten a Crescendo. Ghost Ogre wasn't really, I mean, technically, he could have actually absorbed and then ogred my Lair of Darkness, but whatever, I mean, especially when you're drawing garbage for turn, it doesn't really change much. But let's get into the next one. Okay, so I'm going first. I lost the dice roll and my opponent made me go first, so let's see if my Pot of Disparity for 6 can get Snake Rain, and the answer is of course not, because this game hates me, and I never see Snake Rain, like, ever. Yeah, yeah, I don't know, I'm just not good at the game. I should actually improve my gameplay, because I'm simply not good at the game. But yeah, I back to the front to try to make him lose a card from the hand randomly now, because he's actually gonna lose something. It's kind of like a Dark Law in a way, but actually like way worse, so I Ash Division Hero Increase, so all he has is Stratos. Now, alright, I'm not a good hero player, so guys, why did he scoop? Is there a reason? Like, with the amount of resources that he has, like Increase and Stratos, getting a Search, Super Poly, Mass Change, are there plays that he actually could have done? I don't know. I mean, you ask me, especially through Errand, because if he actually goes Mass Change, I'm just gonna send whatever monster he sends. However, I don't know if this Super Poly can actually be used while I have this light monster, maybe? I have no idea, so definitely let me know in the comments if this guy scooped for a reason, or if he was just dumb and butthurt at the fact that he just, I don't know, had less resources and couldn't actually play anymore because I ashed him. But anyways, let's get into the next one. I feel like it's easy at this point to actually kind of feel the frustration when I talk, because it's just really hard, especially when I Pot of Prosperity for 6 for the 3rd freaking time without getting Snake Rain. It's... oh my god. I'm getting to the point where I know for a fact that this deck is a gimmick now. It's not even, oh, maybe, or I'm just gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna be a nice guy and actually just I don't know. Maybe it's better than I thought, but no, it's not better than I thought. It's not really good. It's this deck's just not the best. And here I actually thought he was playing like Cyber Dragon, so I'm like, oh yeah, pop 2. But no, he wasn't playing Cyber Dragons, as you can tell with his back row lineup. Yeah, just unfortunate. And I just popped the second monster. I don't know why. I could have just went on a back row. But yeah, so I just attack. And technically, if I actually destroy this card, it would have been pretty good. Ooh, top deck Union Hanger, but I do have offerings to the Snake Deity. And of course, I get the crappiest trap card out of all of them. Again, that is no Ice Dragon's Prison, so I'm just not really good at the game. And top deck Harpy's Feather Duster, but we're on simplified game state, so there is no reason for me to use it right away, just to pass after that. And now I actually draw a card that at least kind of does something, but not really, but I get ashed anyway, so it doesn't matter. My opponent actually draws a really good card, and this, again, feels really sad to say that Crush Wyvern is a better card than most of the cards I actually play in my Abhyss deck. So if I don't have Snake Rain, I literally feel like I can't summon a monster that actually can do something. It's just ridiculous. So now I'm actually forced to Ghost Bell this Ice Dragon's Prison just so I can keep my Aleth in the graveyard, even though he's not actually trying to banish something, because I just genuinely have no resource access. So now he can actually even pop the thingy because he Trap Check into Artifact Sanctum, which is a really good move, by the way. That's nice. You can actually pop a card. And now I actually do something really interesting. So I know this is probably a Crush Wyvern, so I just go Ghost Bell attack. I know I'm going to take 2k, but I wanted the monster to become face up just so it would become dark and I could actually tribute over it, because Lure of Darkness doesn't actually allow you to tribute over face down monsters. They have to be face up because they need to have an attribute, and that attribute has to be dark. Now you might be wondering, oh yeah, but Crush Wyvern is a light. No, read Lair of Darkness. It's also a floodgate. It's actually pretty good. But yeah, now I can revive back my Aleth, which doesn't do anything. Oh no, sorry, it actually does something, but for my opponent, not for him. So he gets a Crush Wyvern. And yeah, it's just the only way I can summon a monster with over 0 attack. Like, the fact that I'm actually saying this unironically is just, it's really sad, right? I'm actually desperate to summon a monster with over 0 attack just so I can actually jump over something. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, I just really needed to get rid of that Crush Wyvern, because if he actually drew a monster, I actually would have lost the game. Now, he actually drew Unauthorized Activation, which in theory would have been a good card, but since I have Lair of Darkness, monsters on the field become dark, so this Union Driver just isn't getting something, so ironically, him fetching the Union Driver was the incorrect move. He actually should have went for the Buster Drake, and then probably just, I don't know, crash on Aleth, search a Assault Core, then make Clarin Wushka, summon Assault Core, then make a Link 2, and then summon ABC Dragon Buster, and then I lose. So, oops, sorry. And yeah, I just feel like I completely messed up, but whatever. Anyways, let's get into the next one. Alright, so can Abhyss actually play around, or play through Dragoon? Play through Dragoon, huh? Huge change, even when they don't have any other negates? Well, again, let's find out. So, Dragoon Pass, which is, I want to say, extremely terrifying. I mean, I'm trying to bait him with a card that doesn't do anything, and he doesn't actually fall for it, so yeah, not much that I can do. I'm just gonna set 2 and pass, and now I'm under, like, a lot of pressure, because I have one usable card. The other one is Offering to the Snake Deity, which I can't use since I no longer have a reptile monster on the field. And now you might be wondering, oh, you misplayed, you should have just normal summoned your monster instead. No, because then he just would have been able to destroy it with Dragoon. So that is obviously not a move, and yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun right now. It's really enjoyable. Really back and forth interaction gameplay, which kind of just proves to you how extremely... Okay, yeah, I guess I'm done with that. For every Abhyss fan out there, which kind of feels impossible to me since this deck just literally got announced like a week ago. Less than that, actually. I'm really sorry if I'm actually hurting your feelings by saying that this deck is complete garbage and unplayable, but that is simply how it is. I mean, it's just not a good deck. It's simply not good. So even if I can resolve Snake Rain, because I baited the Dragoon Negate and the Cerulean Skyfire, I still can't play the game because I still have to deal with other interruptions. And look, my opponent went +2 with my own card effects. That's a free Masquerade into Unicorn. That's like a free discard, free recursion. This is... It's really hard to actually promote this archetype without... Yeah, he even gets to summon Armatile. But yeah, anyways, it's really hard to promote this archetype without actually sounding like the kind of guy that would actually say, like, yeah, this deck is really good, trust me, it's like, it's a really good deck. I don't really have any arguments, but it's a really good deck. And by the way, how much damage is that? 15,000, 19, 22,000. Oh, 22,000 and a bunch of billion negates. Oh my, yo, kudos to that guy. Yo, None, yeah, that's his name. Mad respect to you. That was absolutely beautiful. I'm actually really happy that I lost to something like this, because otherwise, if it was like something super garbagey, I would have been like super pissed. But yeah, it could have been worse. Anyways, let's get into the next one. An Abhyss mirror match. Well, the first one who draws Snake Rain wins. But remember that I am the most unlucky human on Earth, so I never freaking see Snake Rain when I want to. And when I do see Snake Rain, it's like going second against a guy that already has hand traps and really good monsters in the graveyard, so they go like +10, or they have Ash or Dragoon, and it doesn't matter because it's just getting negated. Anyways, my Disparity fetches Harpy's Feather Duster because every other card that was excavated was complete and utter trash. Like, so incredibly bad. I was like, where are my plays? This is insane. Anyways, I just passed because that's the best play I can do. Really stupid from my opponent to actually activate Lair of Darkness and setting 2 back row, knowing that I actually had Harpy's Feather Duster from the top of my deck, so I don't really know too much. And he gets Zoha. Yes, Lair of Darkness is going to do nothing. I'm just gonna pass because that's a pretty good top deck. It doesn't really do anything. A Snake Rain, however, I wish I was that good, but he gets ashed. Called by the Grave. No, sorry, Ghost Bell on the Call of the Haunted. Yeah, I mean, they're both calls, so give me a break. I just wanted to do it for just to save some life points, I guess. Harpy's Feather Duster here, Call of the Haunted, nice deck, LMAO. And all of a sudden, look, I was super down on advantage, and now it's like, actually, yeah, it's not too bad. And to top it all off, it actually summons a useless monster, so I'm like, hey, drag my punishment now, it's not too bad. And now he's actually down to top deck mode, and... that was actually a really bad move that he did, by the way, to use the effect of Zoha, because all it does is just get him 1 card in the graveyard, while it actually draws me a card and finally gets a monster in the grave, so I can finally play the game now, and I managed to stabilize, so... yes, patience is indeed a virtue. That is how you win sometimes, even when you're far behind on, like, the first couple of turns, so... Anyways, let's get into the next one. That was actually that's actually the last replay, and honestly, I was really getting tired because this is just not the most enjoyable deck to play out there. And again, I'm probably gonna get dislikes from people saying, oh yeah, but why are you making a video on a deck that you don't like? The point of my channel isn't to just show videos, make videos on decks that I like or that I think are good, but on new decks that might have potential, emphasis on the word might. And I really thought that with Snake Rain, a deck like this, and, you know, access to, like, 1.5 card OTKs, you know, some of the cards are genuinely really good. I really thought that this deck could actually be kind of somewhat respectable to a certain extent, maybe, like, roguish, or if you're really good at the game, you can kind of make something out of it. But honestly, it's mechanically bad, because the design of the card is just... the cards, are just way too weak, like, by default. So, the fact that pretty much all the big snakes, all the big Abhyss monsters are bricks in your hand is already a really bad start. So it's kind of reminiscent to Infernoids, where it doesn't matter how good you are at the game, drawing a hand of 5 giant Infernoids, isn't a good thing. So you're always relying on drawing those good juice spells or traps like Void Vanishment, Void Imagination, a Void Feast that can resolve, and, you know, back in 60-card format, Lawn Mowing next door. But now, literally, I feel like if you don't draw Snake Rain, or if you don't draw a really good hand, like going second with Lair of Darkness and one of the 2 level 4s that actually sends from the deck to the grave, it's possible that you might not even be able to... summon a single monster. Honestly, it's just that sad. And the thing is, you might just say, oh yeah, but just mix like that engine in this deck. But the thing is, at this point, we're getting to probably a point where we're not trying to make Abhyss better, but we're trying to make other good decks worse. And that's where, to me, it actually just starts becoming completely unacceptable. So that's why I always try to feature decks as pure as they possibly can be, just so in case we actually get more support in the future, it'll be easier to kind of reverse engineer in a way. We'll be like, oh yeah, would we already build something in the past? Let's actually take that and actually make it better, like from there. So we kind of have less steps. But yeah, unfortunately with Abhyss, what I can currently say is no, this deck is not playable. One wave of support is obviously not enough. Snake Rain is definitely not the reason why this deck can actually ever become playable. If this deck actually does become playable one day, it'll be because of more Konami support and not because of, you know, outsider techs like Snake Rain. But anyways, that's all I had to say in showcase for this Abhyss testing video. If you guys have any comments or feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.